Hello students, so today I will discuss the NTA Obvyas question paper 3. So first question, during transcription holoenzyme RNA polymerase binds to a DNA sequence and the DNA assumes a saddle-like structure at that point. These sequences, now please remember this question actually it is out of NCERT book. But this portion is mainly from the transcription part, transcription. As you studied the transcription unit in your NCERT book, that is chapter 6, in that NCERT book, that is the transcription unit is there. As you know, there are three part of the transcription unit. One is called promoter site, then structural site and the termination site. Clear? So that structural site is flanked by promoter site as well as that is terminator site. Now, so what is that promoter site? Please remember, in that promoter site we studied, so this is 5 prime, 3 prime, one strand. This is the another strand, that is 3 prime, 5 prime. So here in the upstream of the 5 prime, that is called promoter site. Here it is the promoter site. Next, in the downstream of 3 prime strand, here it is the terminator site. It is the terminator site. Okay. In between this, that is the structural gene, or it is called structural gene, or you can say structural. This is structural gene. Clear? So this particular portion is transcribed to form an mRNA. This is happens. So this is transcription. Transcription means that is formation of mRNA from DNA strand. Now, so here this structural gene, this is transcribed. So ultimately this RNA polymerase, please remember the RNA polymerase enzyme is responsible for transcription. That RNA polymerase is what? DNA dependent RNA polymerase. So it will produce an RNA from DNA. So now this RNA polymerase binds with this promoter site where there is a box is present, and that 7 pairs box, that is called TA. So this is base pair, this is 7 base pair sequence is present, and this is called Tata box. Please remember, this is called Tata box. It is called Tata box, or another name of this Tata box is called Hogness box. Please remember, Hogness box. So this Tata box or the Hogness box, that will that makes that attachment of the structural gene, that is called RNA polymerase to the promoter site. So here you see the answer is given Tata box. So please remember, this Tata box or Hogness box, it is not mentioned in your NCERT book. Just simply says that promoter site has sigma factor where the RNA polymerase attached. But remember that factor is also there, but that Tata box, that is 7 base pairs, that sequence is called Tata box, which ultimately recognize the attachment of RNA polymerase to the promoter site. So here answer is Tata box. So please again one more point you remember, this is in case of eukaryotes. Please remember, in case of eukaryotes that is Tata box, but in case of prokaryotes, so in prokaryotes there is another box that is called Pribnow box. Please remember, Pribnow box. In prokaryotes that is called Pribnow box, and in case of eukaryotes it is called Tata box or Hogness box. This Pribnow box is nothing but 6 base pairs. It is a 6 base pairs. That 6 base pair is called TATAT. T-A-A-T. This is 6 base pairs sequence. Fine. So that is called Pribnow box. So Pribnow box in prokaryote cell, and in case of eukaryotes that is called Tata box or Hogness. Clear? So here answer is B. Next question. Glycogen is most structurally similar. So glycogen is a polysaccharide. So first of all we have to find out which one of the following are polysaccharide. So monosaccharide, it is the glucose is a monosaccharide, maltose is a disaccharide, starch is a polysaccharide, and cellulose is a polysaccharide. Now, so here answer may be B and D. Now let's, what is glycogen? So glycogen is also known as animal starch. So glycogen is the storage form of carbohydrate in animal. So answer will be B, because starch is the stored form of carbohydrate in plants. So as it is, glycogen is most structurally similar, so obviously it is similar to starch, because glycogen is the storage form of carbohydrate in animal and starch is the storage form of carbohydrate in plants. Clear? Next. The maintenance of favorable internal conditions by self-regulated mechanism, even though there are changes in the environment. So it is a very simple answer, that is called homeostasis. Homeostasis is the condition where body maintains the internal environment with the external one, and generally these homeostasis are achieved by, that is called thermoregulation. Mainly in our case it is thermoregulation and osmoregulation. Please remember, these are the two main conditions for homeostasis. So thermoregulation and osmoregulation, here temperature is maintained and here the water balancing, balance of water. Okay, so that thermoregulation and osmoregulation, that is actually called homeostasis. So these are the homeostasis, the condition, that means where internal environment is maintained with the external one. Clear? Next question. Which suspect would you charge with the crime? So this question is from the DNA fingerprinting. It is chapter number 6 of your class 12. Okay, so DNA fingerprinting. So in DNA fingerprinting, as you know, the main basis of DNA fingerprinting is VNTR. Please remember that. That is variable number tandem repeats. Clear? VNTR. So VNTR is used for DNA fingerprinting. Now here you see, this is the victim and these are the VNTR of the victim. Clear? Now this is the sample which is collected from the crime scene. Clear? Now there are two suspects, suspect 1 and suspect 2. Now what will happen? In suspect 1 you see not a single VNTR of the crime scene, that is sample, is matching. It is not matching. It is not matching with this one. Clear? From this one it is not matching. This is also not matching. Now in case of suspect 2 you see this is matching with this. This is matching with this, and finally it is matching. So ultimately, so as it is from the crime scene, there is a matching with suspect 2. So here answer is only suspect 2. That is, answer is D. Next question. With respect to in situ conservation, please remember what is in situ conservation. In situ conservation means that is the, within the habitat area, if organisms are conserved within the habitat area, that is called in situ conservation. So in situ, with respect to in situ conservation, the national genetic resources can be achieved by establishing. So in situ conservation, yes, national park is in situ conservation, wildlife sanctuaries are in situ conservation, then biosphere reserves are in situ conservation. Clear? Then ultimately the answer is D. The answer is D. All of the above is the answer. So it is in situ conservation. It is actually from the chapter number, please remember, chapter number 15. Chapter number 15 of your class 12. Clear? Next question. Identify the correct statement regarding Bt cotton. Identify the correct statement regarding Bt cotton. Number 1. That is, dried spores of Bacillus thuringiensis are sprayed on its vulnerable leaves. No, it is not dried spore. It is genetically done. The gene of Bacillus thuringiensis is cut and ligated. So that is not correct. It is the incorrect statement. So here answer is A. So let us check the other. It releases toxin that causes swelling in the gut of insect that ingest its leaves. Yes, of course, because Bacillus thuringiensis, that that Bt cotton, that is that from that bacteria one gene is taken, which gene has the capacity to produce a protein that is called crystalline form of protein. Once that protein entered into the intestinal mucosa of the insect, so it will causes perforation. So that is answer correct. It is a transgenic plant. Yes. Cry1AC and Cry2AB genes are introduced to make them resistant against the bollworm, cotton bollworm. Clear? So this is exactly from your NCERT book, class 12, chapter number that is 13, chapter number 12, application of biotechnology, chapter number 12, class, okay, chapter number 12 from class 12 NCERT book. So answer here, identify the incorrect statement regarding BT cotton is A. Clear? Next question. 3-PGA is first stable product. 3-phosphoglycerate or 3-phosphoglyceric acid. So 3-phosphoglyceric acid is the first stable product of C3 cycle. Another name of C3 cycle is called Calvin cycle. Clear? It is a part of dark reaction. Now, here the answer is carbon reduction cycle. So C3 cycle, why it is named given C3? Because the first stable product after carbon dioxide reduction, that carbon dioxide is reduced by RuBP, that is ribulose biphosphate, it will produce as 3-PGA and it is a 3-carbon compound. So that is why that cycle is called C3 cycle, and here answer is A. So 3-PGA is first stable product in carbon reduction cycle. Clear? Next. It is actually, please remember, it is from the class 11 chapter 13, that is photosynthesis in higher plants. Next. There are 3 endocrine glands. There are 3 endocrine glands involved in carbohydrate metabolism. Carbohydrate metabolism. So those, you have to find out that 3 endocrine glands which are responsible for, or that is which maintains that carbohydrate metabolism. Now see, pancreas, yes, answer is correct, because pancreas is an hormone that is called insulin sorry and glucagon. Insulin and glucagon, these 2 hormones maintains that, or it will involve in carbohydrate metabolism. Insulin decreases the blood sugar level, whereas glucagon increases the blood sugar level. Now, neurohypophysis, that will secrete 2 hormones. That neurohypophysis actually not secrete, it release hormone. 2 hormones is released by neurohypophysis. Another name of neurohypophysis is called posterior lobe of pituitary. So what are the 2 hormones released by neurohypophysis? That are oxytocin and vasopressin. Oxytocin, what is the function of oxytocin? That causes the contraction of uterine wall during the time of parturition. And what is the functions of vasopressin? Vasopressin maintain reabsorption of water from the, that is distal convoluted tubule. Now, there is no role of neurohypophysis for carbohydrate metabolism. So that answer is wrong. Adrenal, yes, adrenal has the role of carbohydrate metabolism, but option A is wrong. Now here you see, pancreas, yes, of course, adenohypophysis. So adenohypophysis secrete 6 hormone, growth hormone, adrenal corticotropic hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone and prolactin. Out of this, growth hormone is responsible for carbohydrate metabolism. So here adenohypophysis is correct. And thyroid secretes the hormone called thyroxine. Thyroxine also plays a significant role in carbohydrate metabolism. So here answer is B. That answer is B. Pancreas, adenohypophysis and thyroid. Now here you see next, pancreas is okay, pituitary okay, but liver never secretes such. Any liver is not considered as the endocrine gland. So that is not the answer. Pancreas yes, adenohypophysis yes, thymus secretes thymosin hormone which stimulates the T lymphocytes. Clear? Now, so answer here is B. Next question. Bones become fragile. So ultimately bones becomes more brittle when the condition is called osteoporosis. So osteoporosis is the condition when bones become porous and it is easily to be broken. So that is called brittle condition. Now, why osteoporosis occurs? There are several conditions because of that osteoporosis occurs. First of all, it is an age-related disease. So age-related condition. So osteoporosis is a age-related condition, number 1. Number 2, decreased level of estrogen. Decreased level of estrogen. That means after menopause. So after menopause, the decreased level of estrogen occurs, which leads to osteoporosis. Then next one, increase of PTH hormone. that is parathyroid hormone. So parathyroid hormone increases, which causes the increased level of calcium ion, and that causes to breakdown of bone cells. So these are the conditions that osteoporosis occurs. So answer is here, bone becomes fragile in osteoporosis. So gout means it is accumulation of uric acid into the joint. Then arthritis, it is the pain that is in the joint pain, and none of this. So answer here is osteoporosis. Please remember that. Next one. Which of the following pairs of fissures is an excellent example of polygenic inheritance? Please remember, what is polygenic inheritance? Polygenic inheritance means when one, that is more than one gene is responsible for providing one character. Earlier concept was that one gene, one character. Clear? Now here, one character is controlled by more than one gene, and that condition is called polygenic inheritance. So polygenic inheritance means when a character is controlled by more than one gene, and the most important example that is mentioned in your NCERT book is that is skin color, human skin color. So here you see human eye color, it is color blindness, that is the human eye color is sickle cell anemia. So it has no relation with polygenic inheritance. Clear? Hair pigment, mouth and tongue rolling in humans, no. Answer is here D, human height and skin color. Human height and skin color is the example of polygenic inheritance. Please remember, what is polygenic inheritance? That is when more than one gene is controlling one particular character. That is called polygenic. And another term, pleiotrope. Pleiotrope means when one gene controlling more than one character. That is pleiotrope. Pleiotrope, one gene controlling more than one character, and polygenic, one character is controlled by more than one gene. Okay. Next question. A good green manure in rice field. Good green manure. So answer is azolla. Azolla is a green manure in rice field. So azolla is known as a biofertilizer. So it is a biofertilizer. Okay. So very simple answer. So this is from the chapter number, remember, 10 of your class 12. Okay. The last page of your class, that is chapter number 10. Microbes in human welfare. That statement is mentioned. Please remember. Next question. Evolutionary classification is called. So evolutionary classification is called phylogenetic system. So please remember, there are three systems has been put forwarded by three different group of scientists or taxonomists. Artificial system was given by Carolus Linnaeus. Please remember that. Natural system of classification was given by Bentham and Hooker. Bentham and Hooker. So Bentham and Hooker proposed that natural system of classification, and phylogenetic system of classification was proposed by Eicher, Engler and Prandtl. So Eicher, Engler and Prandtl, they proposed the phylogenetic system of classification. Carolus Linnaeus and Aristotle proposed the artificial system of classification, and Bentham and Hooker proposed the natural system of classification. But question here is evolutionary. So whenever evolutionary word, so that means that meaning is phylogenetic. Phylogenetic means evolutionary. So in living world chapter, you study about systematics, you study taxonomy. Taxonomy means what? Identification, classification and nomenclature. But if along with taxonomy the evolutionary history is also studied, then it is called systematics. So systematics means taxonomy plus phylogeny. So phylogeny means it is evolutionary or ancestral history. Clear? So here answer is C. Next. In DNA molecule, which of the following base pair is present? There are 4 bases present in DNA. Purine, the main purine are 2, adenine and guanine, and pyrimidine. There are 2 pyrimidine present in DNA, that is called cytosine and thymine. Now, these 4 bases, so they make pair. Adenine always bonded with thymine with 2 weak hydrogen bond, and guanine is always bonded with cytosine with 3 hydrogen bond. So here answer is B, adenine and thymine. Cytosine, Adenine, no. Adenine, guanine, no. Cytosine and thymine. So answer is adenine and thymine. So always remember, in case of DNA, as there are two polynucleotide chains, they are complementary to each other, and they are jointed by, or they are bonded with weak hydrogen bonds. Always bonding occurs between purine and pyrimidine, not purine again, or not pyrimidine. So here it is purine, it is pyrimidine. Purine, pyrimidine. So according to that question, answer is B. Okay, next. In the majority of dicots, the first stable product of, so it is again easy question, already we discussed it. So that is nothing but 3-PGA, that is 3-phosphoglyceric acid. It is the first stable product of C3 cycle, that is the first stable product of Calvin cycle. That is why another name of Calvin cycle is called C3 cycle. So here, as Calvin cycle is a part of dark reaction, as you know, photosynthesis has two phases, light reaction and dark reaction. In light reaction, oxidation of water occurs, and in dark reaction, reduction of carbon dioxide occurs. As already in the previous question I told you that this answer is 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Clear? Next. The process of sperm penetrating the ovum is mainly, now please remember, sperm can penetrate the ovum with the help of some enzyme, and that enzymes are called sperm lysine. Please remember, sperm lysine are the enzymes. These are present, this sperm this sperm lysine present in acrosome. As you know, acrosome is a modification of Golgi complex which occupies, or which located in the tip of the sperm head. This acrosome contains a group of hormones that is called sperm lysins, and this sperm lysins helps in the reaction that is called acrosomal reactions. When acrosomal reaction, so this acrosomal reaction is achieved with the help of numbers of enzymes, and that enzymes are together called sperm lysins, and this is mainly called chemical, because these sperm lysins are nothing but chemicals, they are enzymes. So the process of sperm penetrating the ovum is mainly a chemical process. Clear? Next one. Motile zoospores are produced by, very simple question, and the answer is Chlamydomonas. As you know that motile zoospores are produced by Chlamydomonas. The answer is A. Next. A person breathing normally at rest takes and expel approximately half liter. Half liter means 0.5 liter. That means 500 ml. So the amount of air inhaled and exhaled by a person at rest, that is called tidal volume, and that volume, that amount of tidal volume is 500 ml. So answer is B, tidal volume. Inspiratory reserve volume, its value is, IRV value is, that is 2500 to 3000 ml. Then expiratory reserve volume, that is 1000 to 1100 ml. And vital capacity means, please remember, that is tidal volume plus inspiratory reserve volume plus ERV, that is called vital capacity. Clear? So here the question answer is B, tidal volume. Next. DNA replication occurs during S phase of interphase. So DNA replication occurs in the S phase of interphase. So prophase, metaphase, anaphase, they are the part of karyokinesis. These are the three steps of karyokinesis. Karyokinesis is a part of M phase. So here answer is D. So answer is D, interphase. So DNA replication occurs during interphase. Next. MAP stands for, it's a very simple question. MAP stands for Man and Biosphere Program, and it was actually launched by UNESCO. Please remember, it was launched by UNESCO, and just to establish a very minimum, a common relationship, it's a very friendly relationship with animal, with human being. So that MAP stands for Man and Biosphere Program, and it was launched by UNESCO. Please remember that. Next. Which of the following organisms are decomposer? Now, What are decomposers? The decomposers, first they decompose the substances or whatever they intake, and after decomposing they eat them, they intake it. But in our case, as a consumer, in our case what happened? We first intake the food, then we decomposed it with the help of enzymes. But decomposers, first they decompose, then they eat. So decomposers are bacteria and sporophytic fungi. So answer here is B, D. So both B and C. So this answer of this question, which of the following organisms are decomposers? So answer D, both B and C, bacteria and saprophytic fungi. Next question. Parthenocarpy. What is parthenocarpy? Parthenocarpy means that is development of fruits without fertilization. So without fertilization, its fruit is developed, that is parthenocarpy, and there are several parthenocarpic fruits. The most common example is banana, pineapple, etc. So here this is induced by the hormone called auxin. Auxin hormone induces parthenocarpy. Next, the 8th, 9th and 10th ribs are known as false ribs. Now how many pairs of ribs? 12 pairs of ribs. 12 pairs of ribs. Please remember, out of 12 pairs, that is 1st to 7th are called true ribs. Sorry. Next, 8th to 10th, they are called false ribs. And last one, 11th and 12th, they are called floating ribs. Floating ribs. Okay, so there are 12 pairs of ribs, 1st to 7th true ribs, 8th to 10th false ribs, and 10th and 12th are called floating ribs. So it is mentioned 8, 9 and 10th are false ribs because their external portions are attached to. Why they are called false? Because these ribs, these 8, 9 and 10 ribs are not directly connected to the sternum. As you know, ribs are arises dorsally from the vertebral column and they are attached ventrally to the breastbone or that is sternum. But up to 7 pairs of ribs, they are directly connected to the sternum, but 8, 9 and 10th pairs of ribs, they are not directly connected to the sternum. Instead of that, they are connected to the 7th pairs of ribs with the that is costal muscles. So here costal cartilage of 7 ribs they attach. So answer here is B. So B is the correct answer. Now they are not true ribs. Yes, that is also a correct answer. Please remember. So in this question, this B and D both are correct. But I am going for B because as the main nature of false ribs, because of course they are not true ribs, that is why they are called false ribs. But I am just prefer to go with B because this particular option gives the definition of false ribs. Why they are false? Because they are not directly attached to the sternum, they are attached to the 7 ribs. So here costal cartilage of 7 ribs they attach. So that is why I am going for the answer B. Clear? Now you should know about that xiphisternum. What is xiphisternum? So please remember, this ribs has 3 parts. This is head part, that is called manubrium. This is called manubrium. Please remember, manubrium. Then this is the body part. This is the body part. And finally, they are the xiphisternum. This part is called xiphisternum. So xiphisternum is the lower part of that ribs. The lower part of the ribs is called xiphisternum and the head is called the manubrium and the middle portion the body. Clear? So answer here is the B. Next. Mechanical tissue consisting of living cells. Mechanical tissue. There are 2 mechanical tissues, sclerenchyma, collenchyma. But point is living cell. So collenchyma is living, sclerenchyma is non-living. So answer is B. Please remember. So both sclerenchyma and collenchyma is mechanical tissue. But point is that living. So collenchyma is living, sclerenchyma is not living, it's dead. So here answer is B. So this is from the, please remember, chapter number that is 6 of your class 11, anatomy of flowering plants. Next, Nostoc is it is again, it is in your book NCERT class 11, 12, in both this book it is mentioned. Nostoc is a blue-green algae. Nostoc is a classic example of biofertilizer. So here it is blue-green algae. So another, it is also called BZA. In short, it is called BZA. So Nostoc is a blue-green algae. Chapter number 10, class 12, microbes in human welfare. Last page it is mentioned. Now, some blue-green algae can be used as biofertilizer. Why? Because they are capable to fixing nitrogen. They are capable to fixing nitrogen. That is why they are used as a biofertilizers. Okay? So that answer of this question number 25 is D. Next. A good example of organic fertilizer which improves phosphorus uptake. Now say Rhizobium, it is nitrogen. Azospirillum, no, none of this. Also answer is PHAM, because fungi is mainly for uptake of phosphorus. Phosphorus uptake is done by fungi. So PHAM, it is a type of mycorrhiza. So mycorrhiza, as you know, mycorrhiza is a symbiotic associations with fungi and roots of higher plants. So roots of higher plants and the fungi forms a symbiotic relationship, and that is called mycorrhiza. So PHAM stands for vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza. Actually there are two types of mycorrhiza, endomycorrhiza and ectomycorrhiza. So this is an example of endomycorrhiza, vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza. So here answer of this question 26 is A. Answer is A. Please remember that. Next. Drugs that cause an increase in blood pressure and heart rate. Increase in blood pressure and heart rate. Tranquilizer, they are depressed. They cannot never causes increase of blood pressure and heart rate. They decrease. Teratogens, these medicines generally used for just to avoid the tendency of vomiting, nausea during the time of pregnancy. Generally, as you know, the pregnant female has a tendency to vomit. They have a nausea. Nausea means tendency to vomit. So teratogens are used as a just to that anti-vomiting medicines. Opioids, they are analgesic. Most classic example of opioids are morphine. Nicotine is, this is the answer. Nicotine causes that increased blood pressures and heart rate. So here answer is nicotine. Okay, next. 28. Which part would be most suitable for raising virus-free? Meristem. Virus-free plant micropropagation, that is meristem. It is from the chapter number 9, class 12, in the tissue culture chapter. In the tissue culture topic, that is, this question has been said. So virus-free plants for micropropagation, that answer is meristem. Next. The total number of lobes and alveoli present in both the lung. In right lung, there are 3 lobes. In left lung, there are 2 lobes. So together 5 lobes. And in the lungs, there are near about 300 million alveoli. So here answer is 5. The B. That is 5 and 300 million respectively. Please remember that. So lung has 4 lobes, 3 plus 2, that is 5, and 300 million. So the surface area of these alveoli are about 100 meters square. Please remember the surface area of this internal surface area of alveoli are 100 meters square. Please remember that. Next. Which of the following glands do not have duct? Do not have duct. That means they are asking about what? Endocrine gland, because endocrine glands are also called, they are called ductless gland. So out of these 4, which one is the endocrine gland? Salivary, exocrine, mammary gland, exocrine, intestinal gland, exocrine, adrenal gland is an endocrine. So very easy question. It is from the chapter number 22 of class 11. But remember, this question, ductless gland, endocrine gland, that type of concept already you studied in class 9 from class 8. That idea already, even in class 10 also. There is a chapter called, control and coordination. So from class 9, 10, already you have studied this thing. So adrenal gland is an endocrine gland. Okay, next question. Analyze the pedigree chart of families A and B given below and select the correct option. Now say this question is from the pedigree analysis chapter number 5 class 12. Okay. Now as you know, just to do pedigree analysis, first of all immediately you can see that or say that family A and B, what type of, it is recessive or dominant, which one is recessive and which one is dominant. So please remember, when in both the generation affected individuals are there, so that is considered as a dominant. So here this is the dominant, B is dominant, but family A is recessive because their parents are unaffected. So it is a recessive, the family B is dominant. And please remember, both family and B, family B, these are autosomal condition, they are not sex linked, you know, diseases, these are sex autosomal conditions. So this is autosomal dominant, this is autosomal recessive. Clear? Now, so just check the options. Family A, both the parents are homozygous recessive. If both the parents are homozygous recessive, then what will be the condition? So this is AA. So ultimately every individuals must be AA. So every individual should be affected. So that option is not correct, because if it is homozygous recessive, both the parents, so ultimately this is the condition in autosomal condition, and all the results of the progeny will be small a. So now every one individual of this family will be affected. So that is not correct. Clear? Next one. Next, see, this is incorrect. Now in family B, both the parents are homozygous dominant. If both the parents are homozygous dominant, so how this individuals will be produced? So it must be affected. So that is also not the correct answer. In family B, both the parents are heterozygous recessive. Now here you see this term is actually wrong. Recessive cannot be an heterozygous condition. Recessive always a homozygous condition. So this is the homozygous and this is the recessive condition. So whenever there is a heterozygous, it cannot be recessive, it must be dominant. So here actually option, both in cases this option is wrong. It should be dominant. Please remember, it should be dominant and this should be dominant. Clear? So instead of recessive, both should be dominant. So here this is not the correct. The answer is D. How? In family A, both the parents are heterozygous recessive. So this is heterozygous recessive. Now as these are affected, so ultimately this is small a, as you know that. Now once this should be as small a, so obviously from this parent it getting A, and this from this parent it will getting A. So this is the only condition of the parents, that is heterozygous. Then this homozygous, this recessive condition will be found. Clear? So here answer is D. Family A, both parents are heterozygous dominant. Actually it should be dominant, not recessive. Heterozygous dominant. Clear? Next question. Select the incorrect statement. Select the incorrect statement. Wings of insects and birds are analogous. Yes, it is correct. This is because different origin, same function. Convergent evolution, analogy. Analogy shows convergent evolution. Different origin, same function. Yes, wings of insects and birds, they are analogous, right? Wings of insects and bats shows convergent. Yes, correct, right? Wings of insects and birds are homologous. No, wings of insect and birds are what? This should be analogous. So this is the incorrect statement. That means as it is incorrect, so this is the correct answer. So answer is C. So wings of insects and birds are homologous, because that question is incorrect. So this is the incorrect. It should be analogous. So it is an incorrect statement. So answer question number 32 answer, that is C. Next. Which of the following is the correct set of micronutrients? So please remember, this is from the chapter 12 of class 11, mineral nutrition. So in that chapter there is mentioned that there are 17 elements which are considered to be macro and micro. Out of 17 elements, 9 are macro and 8 are micro. So here question is asked micronutrients. So first of all you should by heart that chart, both macro and micro, but remember, magnesium is macro, clear? Calcium is macro. So this is not the answer, wrong. So this is copper, iron, zinc, boron, manganese. Yes, it is correct. This is the answer because magnesium is macro. Here calcium is macro. So this C and D cannot be the answer. Okay. So here answer is B. Next question. Carbon dioxide is transported in blood in the form of 20 to 25% of carbon dioxide is carried by hemoglobin as carbaminohemoglobin. Carbaminohemoglobin. Next, 7% carbon dioxide is carried by as dissolved gas. As dissolved gas in plasma, and 70% carbon dioxide is carried by bicarbonate. So this is the answer. So carbon dioxide is transported in blood in the form of bicarbonate because there are three forms: as carbaminohemoglobin, as dissolved gas, and bicarbonate. So here answer is D. Clear? Next. Oogenesis comprises of, there are three steps involved in the process of oogenesis: multiplication, growth, and maturation. So here answer is all of the above. All the above, because multiplication, growth, and maturation, these are the three phases of oogenesis. Okay, this is from the chapter 3, class 12, human reproduction chapter. Next one, a free living nitrogen fixing cyanobacterium which can also form a symbiotic association with the water fern azolla. Answer is Anabaena. Anabaena is a blue-green algae which forms azolla along with that water fern called, that azolla water fern, that is a nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria. Clear? So that nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria is Anabaena, which form, that is azolla. Okay? Next. Cholera is caused by, cholera is a bacterial disease. The causative agent of or organism, the pathogen of cholera is Vibrio cholerae. So Vibrio cholerae is the causative organism of cholera, and that Vibrio cholerae is a bacteria. So here answer is bacteria, and as you know there are 4 types of bacteria on the basis of their shape: Coccus, Bacillus, Vibrio, and Spirillum. So this Vibrio cholerae, it is a comma shape. Okay. Next question. The plants that grow on saline soils with a high concentration of sodium chloride, magnesium sulfate, and magnesium chloride. So those plants which grows in saline condition are called halophyta. So there are halophytes. Mesophytes, they are in terrestrial condition. Xerophytes, desert condition. Okay, so that halophytes means they are in saline water. Next. All the following statements about Stanley Cohen and Herbert Boyer are correct except, you have to find out the except one, that is what is not proposed by or Stanley Cohen and Herbert Boyer. So this is from the biotechnology. So they discovered the recombinant DNA technology, and this marks the birth of modern biotechnology. Correct. They produced the first healthy clone sheep, Dolly. No, this is not the answer. This is done by Keith Campbell. So this Dolly sheep, clone sheep Dolly, was discovered first. It is done by Keith Campbell. Keith Campbell and Ian Wilmot. Okay, so these are the two scientists that first they, that clone that sheep Dolly. Actually it is in Scotland, there is an institute. Okay, so in that is biotechnology institute, they first produced the clone sheep Dolly. So that was Keith Campbell and Ian Wilmot. So now here the answer is this B, because B is not correct except because it is not done by Cohen and Boyer. Next. A male cockroach's sperms are stored in which part? Direct answer. It is from the chapter number 7, structural organization in animal, cockroach. So here the male reproductive system. For this question, please remember in NEET examination, one particular questions from this chapter number 7 from cockroach. Every year it is asked. So most important part is that morphology one, and then in anatomy portion you should always study that reproduction, male and female reproductive system. It is very important. Clear? Now here the answer is seminal vesicle. In the seminal vesicle the sperms are stored. Okay, and in case of female, where the sperms are stored? Please remember, in female cockroach the sperms are stored in spermatheca. So in the spermatheca the sperms are stored. That is in female cockroach. Okay, next question. Which pair of structures distinguish a nerve cell from others? So which of the following structures present in nerve cell? So as you know, a neuron, this neuron has two parts mainly, that is called cell body, or it is called cyton. Another is called neuron processes. So these neuron processes are of two, that is axon, and next one is called dendrites. Okay, so dendrites. So now, so these are the main parts of neuron. So this cell body and cyton, then axon and dendron. Now let's see, vacuole fiber, no. Then nucleus and mitochondria. So that is not distinguishing from the other cells, because every cell has nucleus and mitochondria. How can you distinguish that nerve cell from other cell? So this is not the answer. Perikaryon, because another name of cyton is called perikaryon. That another name of cyton is perikaryon and dendrites. So here it is answer C. So for question 41, the answer is C, perikaryon and dendrite. Next, amniocentesis is used for determining. Amniocentesis, it is a technique. It is mentioned in your chapter 4 class 12, reproductive health. So amniocentesis is done. It is actually illegal. It is illegal for determining the sex of the fetus, but amniocentesis is done to identify the hereditary disease of the embryo. So if it is a Klinefelter syndrome, Turner syndrome, or the Down syndrome, that can be easily detected by the method called or process called amniocentesis. So here answer is C. Next, which one of the following process occurs inside the nucleus during protein synthesis in eukaryotic cell? So during the time of protein synthesis, as you know that protein synthesis has two steps. Protein synthesis has two steps, that is, one is called transcription, that is from DNA to mRNA, formation of mRNA from DNA, and translation means formation of protein, that is from mRNA that protein is formed. Now next, protein is formed. Next thing is that, so this transcription always occurs in the nucleoplasm. It is occurs in the nucleoplasm. Why? Because here it is mentioned eukaryotic cell. So in case of prokaryotic cell, as nuclear membrane is absent, so both transcription and translation takes place in the same compartment. So there is no barrier, there is no nucleoplasm and cytoplasm. So it is in the same compartment. But in case of eukaryotic cell, as they have a nuclear membrane, so both the process transcription and translation occurs or takes place in different. So transcription occurs in nucleoplasm, translation occurs in cytoplasm. Now, so as it is occurs in nucleoplasm, inside the nucleus, so question is that which of the following process? So activation of amino acids, this is a part of translation. So it is occurs in cytoplasm. Translation occurs in cytoplasm. Formation of polypeptide chain, it is also in the cytoplasm. Now only remaining is the processing of H and RNA, heterogeneous nuclear RNA. So this H and RNA, from H and RNA, as you know, that is mRNA is formed, and that process is called processing. And this processing includes 3 steps, as you know. One is called what? Capping, that is splicing, then tailing. So capping, splicing, tailing, these are the 3 steps which occurs in the processing of heterogeneous nuclear RNA. So H and RNA is processed to mRNA by first capping, then that is called splicing, then tailing. Clear? Next. So it is Remember, it is from the chapter number 6, class 12, that is molecular basis of inheritance. Very important topic, that is processing of heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Clear? Now, the simplest of all nutrient cycles operating in an ecosystem, the simplest nutrient cycle. Actually, you should know, or already you know, that biogeochemical cycle. This biogeochemical cycle, mainly it has two cycles. One is called gaseous cycle, and another is called sedimentary cycle. Sedimentary cycle. Okay. So sedimentary cycle, mainly this is phosphorus cycle. Phosphorus cycle is the sedimentary one. Phosphorus cycle. So the simplest cycle is always phosphorus. Sedimentary cycles are always simplest. So as phosphorus belongs to sedimentary, so here answer is phosphorus, because the simplest nutrient cycle is always the sedimentary cycle, not the gaseous one. Sedimentary cycle is the simplest cycle, nutrient cycle in a ecosystem. So here answer is B, phosphorus. Clear? Next. Proximal and distal convoluted tubule, PCT and DCT, these are the part of nephron. So nephron has mainly two parts, as you know. Nephron is the structural and functional unit of kidney. Kidneys are made up of nephrons. Each kidney has 1 million, that is nephron. Clear? So that nephron has mainly two parts, glomerulus and renal tubule. So renal tubule has 5 parts, Bowman's capsule, PCT, Leupovelli, DCT and collecting tubule. So this PCT and DCT is the part of nephron. Another name of nephron is called uriniferous tubule. Okay, uriniferous tubule. Next. So the water potential and osmotic potential of water is 0, 0. So both water potential and osmotic potential of pure water is 0. Okay, it is from the chapter 11, class 11. So transports in plant. Next, plasma membrane helps in transport of only water in and out. No. Yes, of course it is helps in transport of water. So plasma membrane helps in movement of solvent in the process of osmosis, but you cannot use only, because other solutes are also it allowed, because it is selectively permeable, not only semi-permeable. So plasma membrane is selectively permeable. So here this answer is not correct. Protein synthesis, no. Osmoregulation, yes, this is the answer, because it helps in osmoregulation. It will allow the movement of solvents as well as some that is called solutes. So these solutes and solvents, so that is why the property of plasma membrane is selectively permeable. So for this question answer is C. Next, which kind of therapy was given in 1992 to a 4-year-old girl ADA deficiency? The answer is gene therapy, directly from the NCERT book, chapter number 12, class 12, that is application of biotechnology. So gene therapy, as you know, this deficiency occurs in the lymphocytes. Okay, in the lymphocytes, which leads to a disease called SCID, that is severe combined immunodeficiency disease. So that is actually by gene therapy it can be cured. Okay, so next question. The fat soluble vitamin are mainly 4, that is A, D, E, K. These are the 4 vitamins which are considered to be fat soluble. So answer is K. So K is a fat soluble vitamin. Very simple question. Next, major aerosol pollutant in jet plane emission is, so here answer is fluorocarbon. So it is from the chapter number, that is 16, class 12. Okay, so this is from the chapter 16. Fine. Next, the question, that major aerosol pollutant in jet plane emission is, that is the fluorocarbon. Next question. Among the human ancestors, the brain size was more than 1000. So first of all, to just give the answer, you should know exactly the cranial capacity of each and every species of human race. Clear? So Homo erectus, this Homo erectus has 900. Please remember, it has Cranial capacity 900 cc. So Ramapithecus, this has 400 to 500 almost. So it is approximately 400 to 500. Okay. Homo habilis is 650 to, it is near about 800. Okay, 650 to 800 cc. And Homo neanderthalensis, that is, they have 1400 cc. So here answer is D, because more than 1000 cc. Clear? It is from the chapter 7 human, that is evolution chapter class 12, from the topic human evolution. So please remember, you have to just remember or by heart this cranial capacity. Okay, you have to note down and you prepare yourself for the upcoming examination. Next, which of the following is a bacterium involved in denitrification? Denitrification is done by two bacteria. One is called Pseudomonas and Thiobacillus. So Pseudomonas and Thiobacillus, this bacteria causes denitrification. So here answer is C, Pseudomonas. It is from the chapter 12 class 11 mineral nutrition. Next, explosion of population in India is due to, why explosion of population? Why population is increased? Because the IMR rate, infant mortality rate is decreased. Infant mortality rate is decreased. Then maternal mortality rate is also decreased. MMR is also decreased. Clear? Next, illiteracy, because most of the peoples of India are illiterate regarding to the, that is why the birth control, you know, that program is not effective till that, because of illiteracy, because of ignorance. So here answer is all of the above, because decreased mortality means infant mortality rate is decreased, maternal mortality rate is decreased. Increased natality, yes, if mortality rate is increased, so that birth ratio, that is, you know, rate is increased, death rate decrease means what? Birth rate increase. So all of the above. So decreased mortality, illiteracy, increased natality are the answer. Next question. Haploid plants are preferred over diploid for mutation study because recessive mutation expressed immediately. That is the answer. As recessive mutation expressed immediately, that is why just to study mutation, so it is always preferred haploid cell. Okay. Next question. Which of the following statement is true? Which of the following statement is true? The positive hydrostatic pressure is called turgor pressure. Which is the true statement? Yes, the positive hydrostatic pressure is called the turgor pressure. Of course, it is turgor pressure means what? When inside the cell, that as a result of osmotic pressure water entered, and this water will cause a pressure into the plant cell wall. So this is called turgor pressure or wall pressure. Actually, turgor pressure is also known as wall pressure. So yes, positive hydrostatic pressure called turgor pressure, obviously, because it is a result of endosmosis. Diffusion pressure deficit, actually it is not in your NCERT book, but please remember one statement, dPd is equal to OP minus TP. That means osmotic pressure minus turgor pressure. So diffusion pressure deficit is equal to osmotic pressure minus turgor pressure. Here you see equals osmotic pressure of a solution plus wall pressure. No. So it is wrong. Clear? Next one, diffusion is more rapid in liquids than in gases. No, diffusion is always more in gas. Okay, diffusion is always more in gas. Diffusion of water through semi-permeable membrane is called imbibition. No, imbibition means absorption of water from the surface. Okay, cell surface, if the cell surface absorb water, that is called imbibition. It is not imbibition. So here answer is A. So which of the following statement is true? That means the positive hydrostatic pressure is called the turgor pressure. Okay. So this is also from the chapter 11 class 11. Okay. Transports in plants. Next. A good source of lipase. So lipase is a digestive enzyme. Lipase is a lipid digesting enzyme. So lipid digesting enzyme or fat digesting enzymes are present in pancreatic juice as a pancreatic lipase and gastric juice as a gastric lipase. So here answer is both B and D. Now the amount of pancreatic lipase is more in compared to gastric lipase. So here answer is B, not D. So good source of lipase is pancreatic lipase, and what is the enzyme? That is called pancreatic lipase. Pancreatic lipase is present in pancreatic juice. Another name of pancreatic lipase is called steapsin. Steapsin, S-T-E-A-P-S-I-N, steapsin. So steapsin is the another name of pancreatic lipase. Okay. Next question. Tissue that is mainly composed of fat storing cell. So that tissue, animal tissue which store fats, adipose tissue. Adipose tissue stores, that is fats. And this adipose tissue is nothing but it is a modification of areolar tissue. Modification of areolar. So this is the, sorry. So this is the modification of areolar tissue. This is the modification of areolar tissue. So answer for this question is B. Next, read the following statements. How many of the above statements are correct? So we have to find out a correct statement out of these 4. An elaborate network of vessels called lymphatic system collects tissue fluid and drains it back to major veins. Yes, it is correct. The fluid present in the lymphatic system is called the lymph. Of course, right. Correct statement. Lymph is a colorless fluid. Yes. Containing specialized lymphocytes. Fine. So because lymph is nothing but plasma plus WBC. Lymph is nothing but plasma plus WBC. So lymphocytes are WBC. So it is correct statement. And fats are absorbed through lymph in the lacteals present in the intestinal villi. Is correct. So here answer is A. All the 4 statements are correct. Next question. The nucleolus is the site of formation of RNA. So this is the answer. So rRNA, ribosomal RNA are synthesized in the nucleolus. So nucleolus is a non-membranous spherical structure present inside the nucleus, and this is exactly mentioned. It is directly from NCERT statement, chapter 8, class 11. That is in the nucleus topic. Okay, in the nucleus topic you will get this statement. So this nucleolus is responsible for, that is synthesis of ribosomal RNA, that is rRNA. So here out of these 4 options, C is correct. Next, which one of the following statements is correct? Which of one of the following statement is correct? Fertilization in human takes place in the womb. No, fertilization always occurs in the fallopian tube. Zygote contains haploid number of chromosome. Zygote contains diploid set of chromosome. Clear? 23 from the ovum, 23 from the sperm. Clear? Fertilization membrane avoids polyspermy. Yes, this fertilization membranes prevents the entry of second sperm cell. Once the sperm cell entered into the egg cytoplasm, then a membrane is formed in the perivitelline space. In the perivitelline space, a membrane is formed, and name of that membrane is called fertilization membrane. And because of formation of fertilization membrane, it prevents polyspermy. That means no second sperm cell can enter into the egg cytoplasm. So here answer is C. Primary oocyte inhibits the process of oogenesis. No, primary oocytes stimulates or induces the process of oogenesis. So here answer is, that is C. Next, the condition in which the potassium level are increased is known as, it is beyond NCERT, it is out of NCERT. Clear? It is not in the NCERT book. So here answer is hyperkalemia. So please remember K. This K word, that means for potassium. Okay, just it is for your knowledge. Okay, so this question number 61 answer is B, hyperkalemia. Next, Bacillus thuringiensis stains have been used for designing novel, that is called bioinsecticidal plants. So it is bioinsecticidal plants because as you know Bt cotton, so it is first it is introduced the gene in the cotton plant just to prevent the destruction of the plant by the insects. Clear? So it is bioinsecticidal plants. Next question. The structure which attaches the ovaries with the dorsal wall is known as, that is known as mesoovarium. Mesoovarium is the structure through which that ovaries are attached to the dorsal wall of the body. Next question, because as you know Gleason's capsule is related to liver. Okay, so this is related to the tunica serosa, it is into the epithelial tissue. Fine, so here it is, answer is B. Next one, cry protein is produced by the bacteria that is called Bacillus thuringiensis. Okay, so there is a gene that is Bt cotton, as you know it is exactly so this question has been repeated so many times in this question paper. So here answer is B, Bacillus thuringiensis. Okay, it is from the chapter that is 12 of your class 12. Okay, application of biotechnology. Next question, the most important function of inflorescence is to, what is the inflorescence? Arrangement of flowers in the stalk of, that is the main races, this is called inflorescence. There are two types of inflorescence, that is racemose, cymose, as you know that. So what is the important function of that inflorescence? That is to attract the insects for pollination. So now attracting insects for cross pollination, that is the answer. So this is the most important functions of inflorescence. Next, bilateral symmetry. So this question is from the chapter 4, class 11, animal kingdom. Bilateral symmetry, metameric segmentation, coelom and open circulatory system. Now annelids, yes, they have a bilateral symmetry. Metameric segmentation, of course, metameric segmentation. They are coelomate, of course. Open circulatory system, no, they have a closed circulatory system, closed. Clear? So here answer is wrong. This answer is not. Mollusca, bilateral symmetrical, fine. Metameric segmentation, unsegmented. So here is also wrong. Arthropoda, bilateral symmetry, metameric segmentation, coelomate, and that is open circulatory systems. Here answer is C. Okay, now let's discuss or study the echinodermata. They are radial symmetry. Adult shows radial symmetry. That is no metameric segmentation. Coelom is there. That is open circulatory system. So now here please remember answer is Arthropoda. According to that character, it is the characteristic features of phylum Arthropoda. Next question. Enzyme that catalyze endergonic synthesis coupled with exergonic hydrolysis of ATP. Now see, hydrolysis of ATP by accumulation of ATP, that it is jointed. Please remember. So here isomerase ligase, actually answer is ligases. Now let us discuss the third, that is the rest 3-1. Isomerase therefore altered the functional group. Okay. Lysases, yes, they will break down but without water. Here it is mentioned hydrolysis. Without water, if a substrate is broken down in presence of that enzyme is called lysis. And transferases, therefore transferring a functional group from one substrate to the another, or any say ATP phosphate is transferred from one substrate to another. So here answer is ligases. Okay. Next question, which is not a part of hindbrain? As you know, brain has 3 parts, forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. So hindbrain has 3 parts: cerebellum, medulla oblongata, and pons varolii. So cerebellum is the part, pons varolii is the part, and medulla oblongata is the part. So thalamus is a part of forebrain. Thalamus is a part of forebrain. So here answer is A, because These are the part of hindbrain. These are the part of hindbrain. So you ask question is not a part of hindbrain. So thalamus is not a part of hindbrain, is a part of forebrain. Next, the correct representation of binomial nomenclature. Chapter 1, class 11. Living word, taxonomy, binomial nomenclature. So in binomial nomenclature, according to that name, you see Brassica indica, yes, it is in italics when it is printed. The generic epithet name is started with capital letter and specific epithet starts with a small letter. So it is the scientific name of mustard plant, Brassica indica. Mangifera indica, generic name is start with capital, but specific epithet is also start with capital, so it is not. Here both the word is in capital letter, so it is also incorrect. Here generic name as a whole in capital letter and this specific epithet is in small letter, so it is also incorrect. So here answer is A. Next question. Read the following statements regarding the vestibular apparatus. Vestibular apparatus is a part of internal ear. So please remember, internal ear, in human internal ear, that internal ear has two parts. One is called cochlea, another is called vestibular apparatus. One is called vestibular apparatus. Okay. This vestibular apparatus has again main part, that is they are comprises of, this vestibular apparatus is made up of macula and that is called crista, macula and crista. So let's discuss. It is a part of internal ear, yes, correct. It is composed of three semicircular canal and the otolith organ comprises of utriculus and cochlea. No. Vestibular apparatus has no cochlea. Internal ear has cochlea, but it is vestibular apparatus. So it is asked about vestibular apparatus. So vestibular apparatus is not comprises of cochlea. Cochlea should not be there. So it is not correct. Next, crista and macula are the specific receptors of the vestibular apparatus. Yes, correct. It is the responsible for maintenance of balance. Of course, this vestibular apparatus is for static and kinetic balance. So that these also correct. So A, C, D, these three statements are correct. Now, which of the following statement is wrong? So answer is B, only B. So B is wrong statement. Why? Because cochlea is a part of internal ear, not a part of vestibular apparatus. Next question. NADP plus is reduced to NADPH. So that NADP is reduced to NADPH. Actually, it is in the, as you know, you studied that, in the photophosphorylation. In the photophosphorylation of light reaction of photosynthesis, this NADP is reduced to NADPH. NADP plus is reduced to NADPH, where in the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. In non-cyclic photophosphorylation, ATP, oxygen and NADPH2 or NADPH is produced, as you know that. So Calvin cycle, no, it is C3 cycle, there is no reduction because it will oxidize to this. It is not reduced. In Calvin cycle, NADPH is oxidized to NADP. Glycolysis, in glycolysis it is NAD, not NADP. In NAD, where again it is NADH is oxidized to, in glycolysis here NAD is reduced to NADH2. And another name of glycolysis is EMP pathway, and then Meyerhoff-Parnas pathway. So here answer is, actually it is not the answer, it is not the answer, answer is HMP. So HMP means hexose monophosphate. Hexose monophosphate pathway. Monophosphate pathway. Okay, so it is not in your NCERT book. So please remember, out of this four options, A option is correct, where NADP is reduced to NADPH. Next question. Plants that with ovaries having only one or few ovules generally pollinated by, it is by wind. That is called anemophily. If pollination is done by wean, that is called anemophily. So anemophily is the process by which that wean, that is called weans, helps in pollination. Next, if the number of chromosome in root cell, it is 14. So 2n, root cell, 2n is equal to 14. So be the number of chromosome in synergid cell in the ovule of the plant. So it is asking about the embryo sac. If it is asked about the embryo sac, so it is n. So n is equal to what? 7. So answer is 7. So synergid is the cell present in the where? It is in the embryo sac. So it is asked about the haploid condition. So if the diploid is 14, haploid is 7, and triploid endosperm is 21. Clear? So here answer is 7. It is from the chapter 2, class 12, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Clear? Okay, next question. Select the correct statement. Sex-linked traits appear more frequently in female. No. Sex-linked traits appear more frequently in male. Okay, it is wrong. Color blindness is caused due to proper formation of color sensitive cell. It should be improper. It should be improper, because in color blindness the sensitive cells are improper, that is not properly formed, improper. So it is wrong. Human females have a double dose of the X chromosome. Yes, they have a 2X chromosome. This double dose means they have 2X chromosome. So it is correct. Drones bees produce sperms by meiosis. No, that is by mitosis. By the process of mitosis, the drones produces or undergoes spermatogenesis. In case of drone, the sperm during the time of spermatogenesis, mitosis occurs, not meiosis. So here answer is C. Next question. Which of the following option represents the correct blood flow pathway? Pulmonary circulation. So it is a part of double circulation, chapter number 18, class 11, that is circulation and body fluids and circulation chapter. Clear? So in double circulation means the blood enters into the heart twice. So this double circulation has two parts, pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. So pulmonary circulation is from right ventricle to left auricle. Please remember, pulmonary circulation is the pathway from right ventricle to left auricle, and systemic circulation is from left ventricle to right auricle. So these two statements you should remember. Pulmonary circulation from right ventricle to left auricle, and systemic circulation is from right, that is left ventricle to right auricle. Now here observe. Pulmonary vein, right atrium, lung, pulmonary vein, right atrium. No. That is right ventricle, pulmonary vein, lung, pulmonary artery, left atrium. No. Right ventricle, pulmonary artery, lung, pulmonary vein, left atrium. Yes, this is the answer. So here it is right ventricle to left auricle. So right ventricle to left auricle, because from right ventricle the blood is pumped out by the pulmonary artery, then it reaches to the surface of lung for oxygenation. From the surface of lung, the oxygenated blood is carried by left auricle and it drains the blood into the, that is from the surface of lung, pulmonary vein carries the oxygenated blood and it drains into the left auricle. Clear? So here answer is B. Next. Formation of gametophyte directly from sporophyte without meiosis is apospory. If it is given that gametophyte directly from sporophyte with meiosis, then it is apogamy, but without meiosis, that is apospory. Next, fern prothallus is developed from spore. It is directly from the NCERT book, chapter number 3, class 11, plant kingdom. Next question. Bonding between deoxyribose and base in pyrimidine nucleoside molecule. So this is the N-glycosidic bond and it is 1,1 glycosidic linkage. So with the deoxyribose, so that N-glycosidic is like So this is 1,1 glycosidic linkage is formed. So this is 1,1 glycosidic linkage. Okay. Next, photoperiodic stimulus is received by, the photoperiodic stimulus is received by leaves. Always it is received by leaves. Next question. Match the plant and the part in relation to vegetative propagation. So Pistia, it is offset. So D is Q. Solanum tubersum, it is I, that is B is P. Bryophyllum, that is Epiphyllus bud, that is C is S. And Dahlia, it is fasciculated root, so A is R. So ARBPCS, DQ. So answer is C. Here the answer is C. Next question. In dicotyledonous stem, the sequence of tissue from outside to inside, because in inside it is xylem, then it is phloem, then pericycle, endodermis. So ultimately phloem, endodermis, pericycle, phloem, then xylem. Okay, then xylem. So here answer is C, because it is asked outside to inside, out to in. Phloem, endodermis, pericycle, phloem and xylem. Okay. Next question. The fruit is chambered, developed from inferior ovary, and has seeds with succulent testa. So here answer is pomegranate. Okay, the answer is pomegranate. It is not from the NCERT, not in NCERT. Please remember, it is not in NCERT book. Answer is pomegranate. Clear? Next question. What is the role of complement in the body's defense? What is the role of complement? So this complement cell is responsible for, they allow the, allow the water to enter into the cell. That complement cell that allow the water to enter inside. Once the water or fluids entered into the cell or inside into the cell, that means it causes burst of the cell, or it is called breakdown. So here it causes cell lysis, so breakdown of the cell. That is the role of this complement cell in body defense. So here answer is D. Next, which one of the following is not a part of renal pyramid? So which is renal pyramid present in the medullary region of the, kidney has two-part, cortex and medulla. In the medullary region, that renal pyramid like structure is present. So we should know that the renal cortex contains, that is Bowman's capsule plus PCT plus DCT. Then renal pyramid or renal medulla, this renal medulla forms loop of Henle, and that is collecting tubule. So this renal cortex forms the renal cortex region comprised of Bowman's capsule, PCT and DCT of nephron, and the loop of Henle and CT of the nephron is generally found in the renal medulla. So here answer is, which of the following is not a part of renal pyramid? So obviously convoluted tubule, because PCT and DCT are the part of renal cortex, not medulla, because renal pyramid is situated or located in the renal medulla region. Okay, so here answer is D. Next, in contrast to annelids, the platyhelminthes so they have that in case of annelids they have coelom, but in platyhelminthes they do not have coelom. So absence of body cavity in contrast to annelid, because annelid has coelom but platyhelminthes they do not have coelom, so they are acoelomate. So in contrast to annelids, platyhelminthes they do not have coelom. So answer is D. Next, oxidation of 1-NADH2 yields. So 1-NADH2 produces 3 ATP in ETS, whereas 1 FADH2 produces 2 ATP. So 1 NADH2 in the form, when it is oxidized, then it will yields 3 ATP. So here answer is C. Okay, so it is in the chapter 14 of class 11, respiration in plant chapter. Next question. The causal organism of African sleeping sickness. In your book, it is mentioned only sleeping sickness in class 11, chapter 2, biological classification. In chapter 2, biological classification of class 11. So that sleeping sickness, it is in the kingdom Protista, that is mentioned in flagellated, Jew-flagellated. So answer is Trypanosoma gambians. It is Trypanosoma. The Trypanosoma word is mentioned in your book, in NCERT book. Not the species name is given. The species name is gambian. So Trypanosoma gambians causes African sleeping sickness. And please remember, it is a vector-borne disease. It is a vector-borne disease, and the vector which transmits this disease is CC fly. As you know, that is the CC fly is the vector for African sleeping sickness. Clear? Next question. Lead blight of potato is caused by. So this lead blight of potato is a disease. It is caused by fungus. So answer is B. Next question. Spindle fibers attached onto the spindle fibers, they are attached into the kinetochore of the chromosome. Kinetochore, it is the protein disc that is covering the centromere. Another name of centromere is primary constriction. That primary constrictions or centromere are covered with a proteinaceous disc that is called kinetochore, where the spindle fibers from both opposite pole of that spindle fibers are produced by centrioles. That spindle fiber attached into the kinetochore of chromosome. Next question, and is the last question. Read the following 4 statements A to D. Read the following 4 statements A to D, and how many of the statements are right. You have to find out the right statements. How many right statements? A typical anther of angiosperm is Dithecus. Yes, it is bilobe. Dithecus, it is correct. Egg apparatus consists of 2 antipodals. No, it should be synergids. It should be synergids. 2 synergids and 1 egg cell. So it is wrong. Clistogamous flowers are invariably autogamous 100%. Yes. If a female parent produces unisexual flowers, there is no need for emasculation. Yes, it is also correct. So out of these 4 statements, the 3 are correct. So that is the end of this session and this NTA paper 3. So next I will discuss this is NTA question paper, the NTA obvious question paper 4. Okay, thank you.